saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you.
Thank you for playing. Should we or should we not follow the advice of the galactically stupid?
As the Democrats keep flailing, Trump's approval numbers keep going up. As the Democrats infight as to the best strategy to take down Donald Trump, the American people are seeing a president who's actually trying to work for them and get things done. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they understand everything that Doge is doing and how that actually saves us money in the long run, but they see a president at work for the people. What they see when they look at the Democrats are people like Bernie Sanders and AOC and Jasmine Crotch-It trying to jockey to be the leader of the party, and Tim Walz waltzes back in with the hopes of being the presidential nominee in 2028. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth. Somebody to the top of the line.
Hey, I'm Pastor Marty. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure that you are subscribed to our channel, please. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That will give you notification of our rants, our ravings, our undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like this video. It's the only way that we get any type of algorithm to go up. Thank you so much for sharing this link of this video to your social media platforms. It's the only way that we can grow this channel. I don't have a subscription. I don't try to sell you t-shirts or nasty coffee or cigars or anything else. I just ask you, as you're part of this channel, spread the word. Tell your friends about us. Get these links out on your social media platforms. Help us grow our channel. Thank you so very, very much. So Tim Walz gets off, and there's no other way to say it than that. He says he needs it for his boost during the day to watch the Tesla stock rate go down. That's great. That's great. That's just great. The guy who wanted to be the vice president of the United States, the guy who was billed as the everyman. He liked to go hunting, but he couldn't load his shotgun. He was a war veteran, and we find out he never faced combat. He retired before his unit deployed. Claimed that he was a higher rank than what he actually was. This guy is walking, talking, stolen valor and pathological lie after lie after lie. He was in Tiananmen Square during the Chinese government crackdown, and he wasn't. He was a football coach, and we find out, well, he was an assistant coach. Well, he was one of the team dads. Everything about this guy is a lie, and his whack job wife loved opening the windows of the governor's mansion and smelling the flames and the burning rubber as the cities of Minnesota were being burned to the ground by rioters, because that smell was freedom, even though it was people of their own state, small business people losing their life savings and everything they had. This is Tim Walz. And he's rooting over the one and only American car manufacturer that's built completely 100% in the United States. Now, I'm not a big electric car vehicle person. I think at some point, electric cars may be the way to go. They're certainly going to have to get a whole lot more cost effective when it comes to when the battery needs replacing. But I root for the fact that he was an entrepreneur. He went out, he made this happen. You've got AOC and other people up on Capitol Hill calling Elon Musk, he's an idiot. Well, let's see, that idiot just sent a rocket to the space station to rescue our astronauts who had been there 9 months because of the direct negligence and malfeasance of Joe Biden. Guy provided internet to the hurricane victims of North Carolina. The guy provided the internet to Ukraine after everything had been wiped out. You guys are, through George Soros, funding rioters and protesters to go to dealerships and try to burn Teslas, spray Nazi swastikas on them. Of course, the stock is going down. I'm sure there's a couple people on that board that would like to see Elon resign. He's not getting paid to do what he's doing on behalf of the president of the United States. He is seriously committed to let's cut waste and fraud. And have they made a misstep or two here and there? Of course they have. But I would rather have them make a misstep and they correct it than constantly being lied to, placated, and I'm just going to say it even as a pastor, jerked off by the average politician out of Washington, D.C., where they form a committee, and we're going to look into ways to save money, and after months and months and months where they actually do nothing but get paid and take tax dollars to, have these meetings at resorts around the world. They come back with some 100-page little typed whatever, and basically whatever they propose saves basically like, $2 million over 10 years, which is like a spit in the ocean. Elon Musk has gone in there and he has discovered billions on top of billions on top of billions of dollars. And they don't like the fact that the CIA has been cut off from their gravy train of being able to fund their little proxy wars and all the things that they do around the planet. And the liberals with their woke leftist agenda and the slush fund they had to shove all that, as well as the grift and the graft that they were grabbing for themselves off of your tax money. And Elon Musk has exposed it. That's why they hate him. But here's how stupid Tim Walz is. His own state is invested in Tesla. The teachers union of his state is invested in Tesla. So as the stock goes down, so does the retirement value of his state workers. But then again, this is a guy who, like so many of the other libloon Dem governors, turned his state into a total police state during Rovid. That nutcase up in Michigan, Cruella Demented, Governor Whitmer, was actually arresting people for sitting out on their porches or to be in the house. Sent city workers around to dig up people's gardens because they were outside gardening during the pandemic and they were to be in the house. Yet her husband wanted to go out on Lake Michigan in his boat. That was okay. Right, Gavin Newsom? You can gather with your friends unmasked and have dinner, but none of the people of California could. And one surfer by his lonesome self out in the ocean got arrested. Governor Walz had them all beat. He had a snitch line. If you see your neighbor having company over, call us and turn him in, and we'll arrest him. Walz has the gall to call somebody else a military. See that call and turn somebody in? We received a phone call that you might be having Jews over for dinner. Walz has the audacity. Well, he got straightened out. He's had to give this mock apology. He got fierce backlash. But this is probably one of the most articulate, direct to the point responses you could get for this.
You'd think for a man who ran for vice president, the fact that people are painting swastikas on Teslas might be a good reason not to align yourself with them. Nah. How about the fact that they're throwing Molotov cocktails at Tesla charging stations? Nah. Or the fact that they're lighting Teslas on fire? None of those reasons are good enough for Democratic politicians like Tim to stand against terrorism rather than demonizing Tesla. But wait, how about this one? Tim Walz is the governor of Minnesota. Minnesota has 1.6 million shares of Tesla in its retirement fund and another 211,000 in its non-retirement fund. The total value is over $400 million, which means, ding, 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 if the value of Tesla goes down, the value of Minnesotan taxpayers' retirement checks goes with it. So he's literally rooting for his own people's downfall. But wait, there's more. Investment decisions are made by the Minnesota State Board of Investment, which is chaired by, you guessed it, Tim Walz. Maybe while he's tracking Tesla stock value on his phone, he should also track the value of his taxpayers' retirement funds. But that's how blind hatred works. It'll make you cut off your own nose to spite your face. It'll make you root against the electric car company that you praised a year ago for fighting against climate change. It'll make you celebrate the misfortune of a person who just saved astronauts that were stranded for 8 months in space. It'll make you turn against someone who gave internet to Ukraine against Russia when Ukraine needed it the most. It'll malign you against those who build and align you with those who destroy. It'll make you a person who can't win, but is happy to see others lose. It'll make you want to hurt others, even if it hurts you.
Then, of course, there's that other brain trust up on Capitol Hill, Jasmine Crotch-It. Now, Jasmine Crotch-It grew up in an upper middle class family, went to private schools her whole life, but all of a sudden now she's decided she needs to talk like she's from the hood, like she's from the projects. You know, she's a project mama now, and I don't know why she thinks that's, you know, being stupidly non-articulate is somehow the ticket to success. You know, she's making cringe video after cringe video after cringe video. But recently, she had this to say about Elon Musk.
But even when we start to think about Elon Musk, right now, as it relates to Tesla, the sales are down. As it relates to X, he has never made a profit since he bought X. In fact, the value of X is 75% lower. If I am going to go look for somebody to run a business, I'm going to look for someone who is going to run one successfully. And before people start screaming and yelling about, well, he's a billionaire. Yeah, when you know the right people and they'll just give you money, then you can become a billionaire too.
Gentlemen, Ciccolini here may talk like an idiot and look like an idiot, but don't let that fool you. He really is an idiot.
Wow. Just wow. How pathetically stupid do you have to be? Supposedly, this is a very smart, intelligent, well-educated woman. Okay. He's never made a profit with Twitter. The revenues are down 75%. The value's down 75%. Have you actually done a study of this yourself? I know you're picking cherry-pick points to try to make here, but when you do a full analysis of this, this is completely and totally debunked.
If you want to understand what Elon Musk is doing now to the federal government, all you have to do is look at what he did at Twitter.
2022, Elon Musk bought Twitter for $44 billion and molded it in his own image.
He focused on mass layoffs, on reducing real estate footprint, and on pushing employees to resign so that he could cut back on payroll and real estate costs.
Now he's taking those same tactics to the US government.
Just look at the email that the federal government recently sent to its workers, offering them a buyout to leave the government.
It echoed a similar message that Elon Musk sent to Twitter employees in November 2022 with the exact same subject line.
Musk uses an approach to his businesses called zero-based budgeting. He's now started to use that tactic in government and say basically government spending needs to come down to zero and line items need to be added back one at a time.
And some of the same people that Elon Musk used during his Twitter takeover are now being deployed to help cut costs at the federal level. So it's worth asking, how successful were Elon Musk's tactics in reducing costs at Twitter? While he's cut costs in slashing back budgets and reducing headcount by around 80% of people, corresponding revenue has also gone down.
Its valuation per investors has declined significantly from the $44 billion that Musk paid for the company in 2022.
Very selective with their information. And the goal is to push a certain narrative to get you to think that what Elon is doing with the government is bad. But they say, hey, if you want to see what he's doing with the government, just look at what he did with Twitter when he took it over. But yes, he cut a bunch of staff that was unnecessary, and he cut unnecessary cost down. If we apply that to the government, that means more taxpayer savings and more money for us to get our government out of debt. But that's not it. All they told you is that revenues have decreased. So let's go back specifically to what he said.
Budgets in reducing headcount by around 80% of people, corresponding revenue has also gone down.
Notice how he didn't say corresponding profits has also went down, because it hasn't. Notice how he also didn't tell you that there was an advertising coup against X. A bunch of platforms stopped advertising on there to hurt the platform since Elon took it over. But let's go back to profit. He didn't say anything about profit or EBITDA. Let's read this. Start at the bottom paragraph. In 2021, Twitter reported adjusted EBITDA of about $682 million and about $5 billion in revenue. That was the last full year before Elon took the company private. Now let's go to the top. X reported to investors 2024 adjusted earnings, basically adjusted EBITDA, right, of about $1.25 billion and an annual revenue of $2.7 billion. Investors said that that was a better picture than they had expected, and that X's finances hit an inflection point a few months before the election. So even with advertisers working against Elon, the company now has less revenue, but produces more profit. And mind you, Twitter was a very, very, very left-leaning company. Over 96% of political donations from Twitter employees went to Democrats. It was a very left-leaning company. It was run by the left. So Elon took that company over, removed all the unnecessary pieces, and removed the people that would be harmful to the platform. Dealt with advertisers trying to destroy his platform, and still turned it around. Now it has more features than ever and is more profitable than it was when he took it over.